Okay, so I was doing some thinking last night, and I was just, realizing how underutilized dietetics is in the medical field. Diet is so important. It's the reason why a lot of us do get sick. It's also a way to improve your health with a healthy diet. So, whenever someone gets diagnosed with something that is nutrition related in the hospital, you will get a consultation from the dietitian. But, okay, people are in and out of your room, let's just be honest. The whole time you're in the hospital, people are in and out of your room. It's a high stress situation. So, whenever the dietitian comes and talks to you about your new diet, or the last place people want to hear that type of information. It's like you're already in the hospital, you're already down, and then now you're going to tell me that I can't have this, that, and the other to eat. So, that's really the only way that we're used in the hospital setting, which is not effective at all. And, the doctors don't do a whole lot of nutritional counseling. And then they're quick to give you a pill to just fix whatever the ailment is. It's like, why are they so fixated on the medicine? Probably because it's profitable. I hate to say that, but why wouldn't we, if the doctors do care about your overall health, why wouldn't they push to nutrition? And then also, there were some private practice dietitians, but very, very few. So I don't know if that's something maybe we need to make everyone more knowledgeable in the diet department and realize how much it can affect your health overall, both positively and negatively. So it's just something to think about, I was actually even considering doing on here doing diet related information, stuff that people are maybe looking for, or something specific to you. So if anyone's interested in any diet advice, just leave a comment. Let me know what you're struggling with in your diet, and I'll be happy to give you the information that I have, or look up information if I don't know it. So it's just something to think about. Diet can affect us positively and negatively in so many different ways. So instead of being quick to prescribe a pill or to even take a pill, why don't we think about the nutrition changes that we can make to do the same thing that the medication would do. Hey everybody. So yeah, that's just kind of my thought, is that diet is underutilized in the medical field. They're quick to prescribe a pill instead of trying to do a nutritional change that can change everything. You can reverse ailments with your diet, just like you can cause an ailment with your diet. So it is very important, and it's not utilized enough. So if you guys are struggling with anything specifically, like I said, leave it in the comments, let me know. I'll do my research, and I want to put that information out there for everyone to have, to have access to, because honestly, the only thing that I can think, just like with all of any kind of natural cure, they had to change it from, I forgot what the terminology, change the terminology because of the pharmaceutical industry. It's like, no, the natural stuff is better for us, and our bodies can handle it better versus the chemicals that, that's one of the major problems that we have today. So, like I said, it's just something to think about. You always want to try to go a natural way before you go with a medication, if possible, and like I said, it's just something that we don't talk about. So if you have any, that's a specific needs, let me know and I'll be happy to do the research. I know where to find the information, and I would love to be able to share that with you guys, because like I said, your body understands food. Your body knows what food is. Your body doesn't always understand chemicals, and then that's how you end up with, you know, cancer and stuff like that. Your body's fighting a man-made substance versus a natural substance. So it's just very important to always look at your diet when you are having a problem, because it could be related to the health issue that you're having, and it could be just as simple as changing something in your diet versus, like I said, being on a medication for temporary or potentially the rest of your life, you know. Like I said, all these unnatural things, it's pretty much impossible to keep all chemicals out of our body, which is very discouraging. It's like, how did we get this far? But all we can do is do our best to keep our bodies clean as best we can with the resources that we're given. But that is a good way to try to get some of the pharmaceuticals out of our lives, because it's really overall not good for us. Your body, like I said, understands food. It recognizes it as something natural, not a foreign agent, and it doesn't go to attack it. So it's just, like I said, something to think about. I don't know how we could implement diet into everyone's life more easily, because like I said, there's very little, like, dietetics, it's such useful information, but I feel like the way that it's set up in the healthcare field, it's not very useful the way that we're implementing it. So like I said, if you have anything new or even an old ailment and you're struggling, just let me know. And like I said, I'll do the research, I'll get the information together, and I'll put it out here for you guys to have access to it, because I feel like that's something that we're lacking, is access to good information. Even, like, you know, looking back, I've been out of school for a long time, when I did graduate from dietetics, but like looking back, it's like when they told us about the fluoride in the water, all they said was fluoride helps your teeth and helps purify the water, period. Like, no cause and effect, you know, like no medical or chemical process of how it does so. Just like boom, boom, that's it. Don't question it. So not all the information that we got in school is necessarily correct. So you always want to keep your mind open to other options, and just do your own research, you know, like, don't take my word for it or anyone else's word for it, because they might be giving you bad information intentionally or unintentionally, you know, from just reading bad sources. So it's always good to double check yourself, just compare sources and see what everyone is saying as a whole. That's what I love about AI, because like I don't know how to describe it, but I have a very complex way of thinking. So whenever I Google something, I'm looking at every website, I'm comparing, contrasting information, seeing if it's, you know, consistent throughout the board. And AI really is doing all that for you. It's summarizing all of the information and letting you know what is repetitive and consistent. Because science, you know, I love science. If I could be in a lab, that's where I would be. We don't have a whole lot of science related jobs in, you know, our area. But science is sometimes, just like everything else, corrupt and manipulated to a certain extent. Usually most of the community is good, but you'll always have some bad weeds, and sometimes a bad weed can turn into, you know, a bad situation for other doctors, because, or not doctors, I'm sorry, scientists that are doing the research, because they're doing research based off of falsified results. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, you always want to question all information, double check your sources, and the information's out there, both good and bad. You just have to filter through it and realize, try to figure out what's good and what's bad. Because science, like I said, like any other field, any other job, there are bad weeds and there is some corruption. But overall, I would say that the science field is people just really trying to do the right thing and follow the science. I hate to say follow the science because it's a sensitive subject for a lot of people, because with what we've seen over the past half a decade is that they're not following the science. They're following the money. And that's why, for instance, dietetics is not necessarily utilized to its fullest extent because the pharmaceutical industry is profit driven. They don't really care about your overall health. They care about making a profit. They made that blatantly obvious, like I said, the last 5 years, treating us like we're idiots. Honestly, it's insulting. It's like, but that would totally explain if they're profit driven versus health driven, why nutrition is underutilized, because it would take a lot of money out of their pockets, you know, just to put it frank, and that's not what they're interested in. And they're obviously like, okay, anything that they say is bad, they're like, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, don't do it, we don't want you to take this because of this, blah 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 blah. But we're demanding that you take this medicine that we're not even sure what it does completely to the body, and also to give it to your child. You know, it's like, what kind of double, that is not following the science. Like, following the science is doing what's right no matter what, regardless of profit, regardless of manufacturing. That's why we have to have double-blind studies with medication so we can have real results. Of course, if I take a medication, I pour my heart and soul into it, maybe with every intention of it being good, and it's not, and then I go to do the research on my own medication and I realize that it doesn't work. Well, a lot of people's natural instinct will be to manipulate the results because you put so much time, energy, and effort into this medication. That's what happened with Alzheimer's. I don't know exactly how the information got distorted, but the information did get distorted, and they were saying that medications worked, and they absolutely 100% did not work. Like, my grandmother, probably 15 years ago, died from dementia and was diagnosed and given the medication. I knew, just listening to my gut and following the science in my head, I was like, this medication has not helped her. It has not helped her at all. If anything, it's made her situation worse. You know, like before, it was the same thing with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law had dementia, and you know, I met her with it, and she was, you know, she was fairly okay. I thought that she might have been, you know, a little forgetful, but nothing major. You know, I didn't see any major signs. And then she got diagnosed with it, which was, you know, shocking, but not a total shock to me because I am aware of the disease and, you know, familiar with it. And then once she got on the medication, y'all, like, she couldn't remember anything. She couldn't recall any story to tell me about my husband. Like, it's just really sad. So, like, I've been telling people that anyone who has a family member that gets diagnosed with dementia, I'm like, hey, the medicine does not work. I don't know how I can figure that out as just, you know, a regular interested in science lover, common folk, you know, like, science has to do better We have to hold them accountable. Like, I should have been screaming from the rooftops, like, hey, the Alzheimer medication does not work. Like, we need someone to look into this. But I just, talked about it amongst my friends and other people that were related. But we have to hold these people accountable because they're profit driven. They're making money off of our demise sometimes, which is like totally crazy. We go to the doctors for help, and sometimes the doctors are misled as well, which is like I said, bad information leading bad information. So now, 20 plus years later, we have no medication for dementia or Alzheimer's that actually works because the science was distorted for profit. So always remember that, like, put yourself above everything. Like, they really don't. Like, that's just a prime example of they don't really care about your health. Like, why would they care about your health? I don't care about their health, to be honest. Like, they care about the money, and they lead you wherever they want you to go, like, honestly, like I said, after the Alzheimer thing, like, seeing the medication make the patient worse, and they prescribe it to all patients that have Alzheimer's. They're already confused, their brain is already doing something crazy, and then you're going to add another chemical that is not helping. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And then also deter any research to find something that actually can help these people. Like, the medical industry and pharmaceutical industry is not to be trusted. Let's just, be honest with ourselves. I used to have the utmost respect for the medical field, and I've lost some of that over the years just using, like, my brain. It's like, it's not rocket science to see a patient get worse after a medication is prescribed, and they're like, oh, well, the dementia's progressing. It's like, I think it's the medicine. I've seen it with 2 cases, and then I've talked to other people, and they've said the same thing, that the medication does not work. The science field can admit that now. I don't know where the hiccup happened, if it was with a person or a group of people, but it makes you wonder, like, not only are there bad people out there, sometimes there are bad networks, So you always just want to consider your options whenever it comes to health, and always, always, always look for a dietary change that you can do that could potentially help you and prevent you from putting some foreign substance into your body. So that's just kind of my thought on nutrition being underutilized in the healthcare field. It could literally move mountains in the healthcare field. So I don't understand why we're not utilizing it to its fullest extent. And I want to be able to give all of you that information. So if you have anything that you're interested in specifically related to diet and nutrition, just drop it in the comments, and I will do the research and make some content in relation to that. I want everyone to have the information that they want and that they need to make the right decision for their own health. So we just always want to avoid chemicals as much as possible, and try to keep our bodies healthy. Health is something that a lot of us take for granted. You waking up this morning, getting out of bed, and not having any pain, hopefully, is a blessing. And we don't realize how important our health is until we don't have it anymore. So don't be that person. Don't let your health go down and then put every dollar that you have into making yourself healthy again. Speaking of profit-driven medical field, you want to take care of yourself while you're still healthy, and prevent any damage that you're doing or could possibly do. It's like, we want to be preventative, we want to be proactive, and we want to make the best decisions for our bodies, because you only have one. You have to take care of it, and you only get one shot to do this right. There's no really second chances at health. Health is complicated, but we can do our best to make ourselves as healthy as possible with what we're putting into our bodies. Whether it be, you know, with liquids, you want mainly water, all of the carbonated drinks. Besides, they do have a lot of new carbonated flavored drinks that are low cal. I don't know about the chemicals really in them. I'm sure they do have chemicals like Diet Coke and Diet Dr. Pepper. But we want to like flush out our body, drink a lot of water. We want to have at least one vegetable and one fruit a day. And then also, like with fruits and vegetables, like at my house, we love yellow fruits. We love pineapple, we love bananas. But this is a really cool little interesting fact. Every color has different nutrients in it. So we're getting pretty much the same, mostly the same nutrients from our pineapple and from our banana. So you do want to try to eat an array of colors whenever it comes to your fruits and vegetables. The more your diet, the more nutritionally sound. So I always thought that was pretty cool. So you don't want to, sorry guys. So you don't want to eat all the same color. Like I said, an array of color is better. You'll get more well-rounded nutrients from eating an array of color. So try to, you know, keep that in mind when you're in the veggie and fruit section. But so because like mainly the yellow fruits, I'll buy, you know, little satsuma so we can get some of our vitamin C from that. You know, like people don't realize a lot of times also that all of these empty calories that we eat, your body is craving nutrients. Your body wants to be nourished, okay? So whenever you're eating empty calories with no vitamins and minerals, your body's going to keep telling yourself that it's hungry. Because not necessarily that it's hungry, but it's going to tell or make your brain believe that it's hungry because it's craving the nutrients. So eating just like a fruit or for breakfast, that's a really good start. Whenever, I don't eat breakfast normally, but if you do eat breakfast at that moment, your metabolism will kick into high speed. Versus waiting until lunch, your metabolism will be kind of just at a flat rate. And then when you eat, that's when your metabolism starts working to break down the food. So it is good to try to get your metabolism going in the morning by having a very small breakfast. Nothing major, no like big bowl of sugary cereal, just like a banana on the run, a little orange like on the way to work. You wouldn't realize how much stuff like that affects just how we feel. So always try to eat calories that aren't empty. You know, things in boxes are usually empty calories for the most part. So just keep that in mind whenever you are eating, that you want to nourish your body. It's not just about getting energy, it's about nourishment as well, because empty calories are just energy. There's no nutrition, and that's why your body's like, hey, I'm hungry. It's lacking nutrients. So we're just like anything else in nature. A lot of things are going on in our body that we're not even aware of, you know. But so if you have any questions about diet or anything that I could potentially help you with in that department, just leave a comment. You know, you can sleep on it, do your own research, but I would love to be able to share that information with everyone that I feel like we're lacking in society when it comes to diet and how important it is. And literally, like, a dietitian, if with a motivated client, could do more than a pill can do. You can prevent yourself from having to take a man-made medication and nourish your body and have better long-term health outcomes. You know, like, don't neglect your health while you still have it. You know, what's Albert Einstein's quote? people give up their health for wealth, and then they'll give up their wealth. People give up their health for wealth, and then they'll give up their wealth for their health again. So like, what a backwards thing to do. We always want to be preventative, and we always want to be paying attention to what we're putting in our bodies. So I hope you guys learned something today, and if you have any specific questions, just leave it in the comments and I'll be happy to address them and try to help you guys with nutrition and dietetics. Okay, so have a happy Friday, everybody.